really bet against it.
There are a couple of ways to look at it, I guess, with the Brewers. Is either, but they're not that good, they shouldn't be there, which I think there's something to be said for that. Or they are there because they're on like the hottest streak of anyone, and what if they ride
Yeah.
that all the way?
I suppose the other thing as well is us talking about playoff baseball being almost a different sport in some ways. Um, this roster basically is almost exactly the same. Got to the championship series last year, didn't it?
Got to Game 7 of the championship series, in fact.
Yeah, which I think is further than the Nationals have ever gotten. Even like the whole time they've had Harper and everything.
Yeah. So maybe I don't know.
I mean, they've got they. You could. There is an argument that they have got the playoff experience a bit. Some of their players.
Yeah. I
Um,
well, they've got Lorenzo Cain, who's been to two World Series, and Moustakas, who's been to two World Series, and Grandal even. They've got loads of playoff experience. Um,
yeah, it's just that Christian Yelich being injured is such a shame. To be honest, I mean, although one hitter really in a one-off game doesn't make that much difference, I just feel like even if they do somehow manage to get through this game, um, to then face the Dodgers, I feel like they've got absolutely no chance at all
the trouble is, yeah,
in a
I,
five-game
I
series against
I
the
agree with
Dodgers.
you. Everything I believe about baseball is that one hitter shouldn't make that much difference. But on B War, Christian Yelich has got 3.9 WAR than their second best hitter.
It's 3.9 WAR more. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know that's what I mean.
like
It's like almost three times as much, isn't it? Or is it three times as much?
no, it's not. He's 7.1. Moustakas is 3.2.
Okay, so it's just over two times as much. But yeah, it's like
It's
he's
mammoth.
isn't he basically as good as like their almost as good as like their next three best hitters combined or something on WAR.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's yeah,
He's he's miles better than anyone else.
it's
We're
much
talking about like a Mike Trout and the Angels level of better than his teammates.
as much as it is. Yeah, it is only one hitter. It's like if in that sense, it's like losing three very good hitters, losing
Yeah,
Yelich in terms of this production. But yeah, again, yeah, it's like with the playoffs only being a month long and everything, is you do sometimes get those players that just don't produce in the playoffs at all, or sometimes
yeah.
they do and they have like ridiculous numbers for a month.
I would rather see, and this is no offense if our one listener who we don't know how knowledgeable they are about baseball, if they happen to be a Brewers fan, this is not because I hate you or anything. I think I would rather see the Nationals go through to play the Dodgers because I would quite like to see that Nationals rotation against the Dodgers because they
Yeah,
might be. Um, but also I loved watching the Brewers in the playoffs last season, so I'm not against them going through. I think that it'd be quite a cool story if they lose Yelich and then sort of, make a real run.
yeah, it would be. But yeah, like you say, it wouldn't if they somehow squeeze through against the Nationals and then get swept by the Dodgers. Sort of ruined half the playoffs a little bit.
Yeah, no thanks. Because then the other option is you get a Ryu, Bueller, Kershaw against the Nats front three, and that's just awesome, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's what the playoffs should be about. I know we've just been applauding the bullpen stuff, and that's great. All the analytically inclined teams who do cool stuff with their bullpen, but an ace off is always a lot of fun.
yeah, which is well, I think that's going to be the um, weird thing with these wildcard games is the Brewers are obviously probably not going to go that deep with Woodruff, and the other game is probably going to both be they're probably both going to use their bullpens pretty heavily. Is that in the past, well, even only like a few years ago, wildcard games basically had always been ace offs, haven't they?
Yeah, or you try to make it an ace off at least.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like
but now it's like it's almost the teams who've got an ace seem like they're playing 19th century baseball or something. It's mental, isn't it?
yeah,
What you're going to use a multiple Cy Young winner in the wild card game? Wow, that's a bit novel, isn't it? That's ridiculous. I can't believe you're starting Max Scherzer.
yeah. So, what else is there to say about this?
I don't know. I'm wary of drifting onto um, the future, the beyond these games, because then we're just speculating at
And
random. 'Cause
and
we
we're going
don't
to
know
do
what
future podcasts. So,
yeah, we want to leave room to talk about that separately. How much time have we got left?
maximum of 10 minutes.
Should we do a
Well,
quick run through of some
9 minutes.
award stuff?
Okay, it's very quick awards of who should win the regular season awards. All
Yeah.
right, go on then.
Rookie of the year, go.
Jordan Alvarez and Peter Alonso, probably.
Yeah, I don't think those are really even worth talking about too
Yeah,
much, to be
I mean,
honest.
there's another one that like a lot of the season seemed like, oh wow, it's gonna be really close race for the National League Rookie of the Year and stuff, but then Fnatic Attacks got injured, basically.
Yeah. He only played 84 games in the end. He's not even close to being relevant with it, is he, unfortunately?
No. Yeah, there's sort of, and it's basically both of them. They just mash loads and loads and loads of home runs all year.
Okay, so we're
You can't
agreed on
really
those two at
be
least.
better than them. Yeah. Okay. What's next?
Let's
Cy
go
Young?
Cy Young winners. Go.
Go Cole.
And
Oh, I don't know. I've not really thought about it actually. I mean, because you can see how spontaneous this is. You've literally just decided we're going to do awards, and I've not prepared. Um, National League Cy Young. This is me quickly trying to search through. Oh, that's not it. Who do you reckon?
I would go Verlander and DeGrom.
DeGrom? Yeah, it may
Yeah,
well be
yeah.
DeGrom. Who are the other contenders?
Scherzer, Strasburg, Flaherty. Ryu fell off a cliff, didn't he?
Flaherty
But
is.
still finished really good
I
numbers.
think Flaherty is probably not going to win it, but I actually sort of would be quite tempted by him winning it. Tempted.
What for the narrative?
Not really. Just because of, even though obviously the whole, doing it over a whole season thing is like the whole sort of part of the point of it. But I think also over a shorter time period of just how dominant he's been. Like, it's not even that short time period, it's since the All-Star break. It's like, no pitcher has been close to that dominant in the National League all year. Over over that sort of time period.
I could get on board with that
Have you
because I
seen
think
it?
yeah, I could support that, particularly when it's the second half of the season, because Ryu did that in the first half.
Yeah, well, also the thing is with it as well, if you want to talk about the team playoffs and stuff, so I think a lot of the time it's a bit stupid when it's a team that easily makes playoffs, because it's like, yeah, it's not them. But like the Cardinals, before he started being good, were like in the middle of the pack, competing for like, when everyone was really tight, competing for like the wild card and the division, and there were about like 10 different teams that could get into the playoffs in the National League, including like the Giants, for example, at that point. And the Cardinals could have easily been one of the teams that dropped off a bit, like the Cubs have, or
Yeah,
even like the Giants did, or something. But they ended up actually winning the division out of all those teams.
and a lot of that was he won them the game every fifth day
Yeah,
because he was so good. It wasn't even like he was giving them a chance, was it?
yeah.
He was actually winning them the game.
I mean, did you see there's some ridiculous stats I saw the other day of his record of when teams are, when his teams score 1 or 2 runs, which usually is almost always a loss. Like they won like over half of them when Flaherty was pitching in the second half. I think it happened quite a few times, like 8 times or something. and they won 4 or 5 of them, of where his team only scored 1 or 2 runs, but he still managed to get them the win.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah. So anyway, we need to move on because we're really running out of time. But
Okay.
yeah,
So what? Cole versus Verlander, isn't it, for the American League?
yeah, I think it's just that debate, and it's
I don't even know how I split. I just went for Verlander
no,
because
I
it's. I don't know. They're
No.
so close. They're so close.
Anyway,
Um.
let's talk about
Yeah.
MVP quickly.
Okay. Go.
I want Christian Yelich actually.
Why? Why over Bellinger? Because he's not as good a base runner or fielder, is he?
Well, he was a better hitter for most of the year. I mean, they both started off ridiculously, and Bellinger actually in the middle part of the year
Kept
was
up.
good, but not like super stellar good like they were both at the start. But Yelich just carried on being that good, and also, the Brewers have made it into playoffs, even though he's not going to be there. They wouldn't have been close without him. Like the first half of the season, I don't think they would have almost dropped out of it if they didn't have Christian Yelich.
Yeah, I can get on board with Yelich. I'm happy to go Yelich over
Yeah.
Bellinger, I think.
But there's also Rendon that is incredibly underrated. But and also that's actually the fact Rendon's been so good again. It's going to make free agency a bit more interesting than it might have been.
Yeah, unless he just signs an extension, but that's unlikely with how the Nationals tend to do things, it seems.
Yeah. So the American League, it's basically people have been talking about between Bregman and Trout, haven't they?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the matter?
I've not really looked at their numbers that much, to be honest, but I reckon Trout.
I
mean,
have to give it to Mike
Bregman's
Trout.
been ridiculously good, but like Trout should have won more already. Trout basically deserves to have more awards.
Yeah, I know it might not be right. But I think Trout should get it
just to push
almost
against
a career award.
people getting bored of how good he is. Like,
Yeah,
we shouldn't be getting bored of it. Just keep giving him MVP awards. He should
screw
finish his
voter
career with
fatigue.
like 10 MVP awards or something, which is
Yeah,
really quite difficult at this point, to be honest. But
He was very unlucky
Yeah.
not to get it last year. The year before that, he would have won it if he didn't get injured. He got injured this year, but it's not like he still had 600 plate appearances, played 134 games. Like, he is so preposterously good. Like you said, Bregman was good, but if your only argument for not giving it to Trout is this guy played a few more games,
I think this is actually the first season of his career that he's actually declined.
what by
That's quite ridiculous.
almost nothing?
Yeah, most of his rate stats are slightly worse. I mean, slugging's actually up, but his OPS is down by 5 points.
Yeah. Oh
This-
my God.
Still almost 1,100. But
Yeah,
then maybe this is it. Maybe this is his last chance.
Get him his third MVP.
But I mean, I don't think you can really. Well, I don't know. I think Mike Trout just deserves more and more awards, as much awards as possible for his career, because he's like. I mean, I don't think it'll be disputed that he's the greatest player of all time.
Yeah, let's
shouldn't
everyone let's make some awards for Trout, I think, in the future, because it's really silly how many times he's missed out on it. And I know it might be ridiculous to consider that in your decision this year, but last year Mookie Betts had one of the greatest seasons ever, and Trout still maybe could have won it. But this year, I don't think a very late season injury should really matter.
No. I think we should finish now.
Okay.
Wrap up with those awards things.
Yeah.
Spontaneous picking people for awards. Yeah. We could maybe do that in more detail sometime, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Let's fit another podcast in to do that at some point.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, bye.